Infernal Shrines, ladies and gentlemen, is the first map in our series between mYisanity and Fnatic, the semi-final at the Dreamhack Tour Qualifier. Qualifier number 2, actually. Fnatic, they failed yesterday, as did mYisanity, to qualify for the second regional final in Europe, and today they're going to give it another shot. Fnatic finally get Greymane for the first time here after it was consistently banned out against them. Now on this map, of course, Zul banned for that split push, Illidan banned because, well, he's Illidan. And yeah, we're having the Greymane pickup, whereas mYisanity has to open up with their first double pick here. And of course, once again, I'm joined by Tetcher, as we're seeing that double support opening that already Epsilon chose in one of the previous games.
Yeah, and mYisanity one of the first teams to actually start doing this, really, where they double pick supports and then ban one in the phase 2 if Fnatic don't pick one up. So they're trying to force Fnatic to really pick a support now, as opposed to one of the heroes they maybe would want to prioritize above a support, so that mYisanity will get a higher priority on the next picks.
It's a really good point. I mean, banning out another support with a double support pick this early is, of course, always a really good strategy to limit your opponent's choices. But at the same time, Fnatic has to think a little bit about what mYisanity wants to do with this. This is, of course, a great draft to enable a Sonya to go deep, or a Thrall, for example, to do a whole lot of damage. So that's one of the things that they have to be careful about. Fnatic is already going exactly towards countering that. They pick the Tassadar, and they're locking in, or about to lock in, as Sonya. Air, thank you very much for the support, my friend. And yeah, apparently he really liked the accent, Tetcher.
The bad accent was great.
Yeah, Tetcher was trying to do a little bit of a Southern American Texas accent impression, which was incredibly bad, but also incredibly funny. So that was cool. But yeah, I like what Fnatic did here. What do you think about it? It's a Sonya now. They pick it away from mYisanity. They use Tassadar to already enable Sonya with a second support, and they can go into a Rega, they can go into a Charism with it, they can go into a Brightwing. In this case, Rega has been banned out, so mYisanity is doing what you already suggested. But I really like the answer that Fnatic had to that opening by mYisanity.
Yeah, really happy with this answer by Fnatic. Like, I know what I'd like to see mYisanity do now, but there's no way they're going to do it, and that is run melee assassin Charism and basically massively wreck Fnatic in terms of which support they can pick. But Fnatic looking to get rid of Kerrigan. This seems like a target ban.
It's actually very smart. mYisanity is one of the few teams that still runs a Kerrigan on Dark Mog, and if you have Uther and Tyrande on this map in particular, one of the MVP drafts, for example, in the global finals really cater towards that, and they can do that too. So I really like that Fnatic is doing this right now. They definitely paid attention to what mYisanity likes to play. And mYisanity, they are looking at that Kalthas that we have seen played by Epsilon a lot. Diablo is also something that MVP Black has played on this map. We've been talking about this in previous series. And they combo it off with a Tyrael as well. Diablo, Tyrael, together with Tyrande Uther. Very interesting, and that is a huge presence on the shrines that they have now, with a potential Lightning Breath, plus also on top of that, of course, with Tyrael, Sanctification.
Yeah, that's the double invulnerable and the incredible snipe potential that they have there, and then now it all depends on which assassin that they want to finish it off with as the follow-up damage for all of this. But like you said, incredible shrine potential. The combo of the Lightning Breath with the Starfall as well, the slow, keeping them in that Lightning Breath for a bit longer. Going to be super effective by mYisanity. Now Fnatic looking to find ways to deal with this. The Stitches separating people out, preventing them from being in range of that sanctification could be very good for them.
Also, it would be really nice if they want to go into additional damage and area of effect, but I want to see what they are doing in regards to Tassadar, because actually with this setup, they could decide to play that Tassadar solo still. I really feel
that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, they have still that chance. Mirrodin Sonya already strong. If they want to take a second support, they still have the opportunity to do that. Charism and Brightwing would both work with this quite nicely, so they definitely have that chance. If they want to have a little bit of range damage on the other hand, they could, for example, go into that Vala again. It's a little bit... I don't really expect it here, to be honest with you. Greymane already locked down. There's a couple of choices that Fnatic had. Malfurion even what they're thinking about here, but I like the switch to Charism. Malfurion has a couple of things that he can definitely bring to the table, but I would expect Charism to give them a little bit more value in the long run.
Actually, considering that mYisanity, I guess depends on what we don't know what mYisanity's damage is. Like, if we already knew what their damage and it was burst damage, then Charism would have been really good. They do actually go for Malfurion, because right now mYisanity's damage is all damage over time, so Malfurion could really help out, and it is going to be Kayle Pass, so it is some follow-up burst damage for this composition. So Fnatic maybe gonna miss out on that palm, but we'll see what they can do with Malfurion.
Okay, two things now that I see that Malfurion. First of all, for a moment I really thought they might go into Twilight Dream with double support. Don't really...
You are a dreamer, sir.
Yeah, I am a dreamer. I still have hope. I don't think we're going to see it, but I still have hope. But now that I have the Kael'thas in here, Malfurion actually against Kael'thas was oftentimes played as a bit of a counter on DNA server. That was before the last few patches, but the logic behind it still applies. You have a lot of AoE damage thanks to Diablo with Lightning Breath, and then Kael'thas, of course, with that spread as well. So Tranquility can really make up for a ton of that. And Fnatic... mYisanity was hovering over that Kael'thas already earlier, so you can really tell that they like to play the hero. And I've watched a few of their scrims, and they oftentimes pick Kael'thas. Not exclusively, but Fnatic played against them too. They scrimmed together. So Fnatic might actually be in the know that Kael'thas is a very strong option for mYisanity on the map and said, Charism is great, but if they pick the Kael'thas against Charism, the spread on the bombs is going to be too big. Charism is going to have trouble to properly deal with all of that damage, and Malfurion is better there. So keeping that in mind, I actually think that in hindsight, the change of Fnatic going not into Charism, but sticking it out with the Malfurion, since they expect that Kael'thas, is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it quite a lot. It really makes a lot of sense to pick the Malfurion, considering the style of damage that mYisanity is doing. Yeah. I like it a lot.
Without the Kael'thas, I would have preferred Charism, but since he was picked and mYisanity, or Fnatic obviously expected that Malfurion pick is actually very, very smart. So this is a pretty cool scenario that we're having now. Game number 1, of course, starting up in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Infernal Shrines is our first map, and we're going to jump into the battle between mYisanity and Fnatic at the semi-final of the Dreamhack Tour Qualifier. Game number 1 at the semi-final, ladies and gentlemen. It's the series that matters. The second qualifier for Dreamhack Tour, where we will see the second European regional final for the Summer Championship for Bliss Heroes. And in this case, of course, after we already had 2 teams qualify yesterday, we will see one of these 2 teams advance to play at the offline final here at Dreamhack. To the left side of the map, Bloomby for mYisanity on Diablo. We have Splendor on Uther, Norok on Tyrande, Hazops on Kael'thas, and Darkmok on Tyrael. To the right side of the map, it is Fnatic. Fnatic currently with Shrimpy on Tacita, Breeze on Muradin, Smexy on Malfurion, we have Ethereal Angel on Sonya, and Quacknix is playing Greymane, his preferred hero. And this is going to be a pretty cool match between the 2 teams. Once again, I'm with Tetcher, and we're going to bring you the coverage here at this semi-final.
Yes, we are. So having a look at some of the level 1 talents while these teams decide to spin in the mid lane while they wait for the minions. And Owl will demount Wimpy here. But having a look at some of the level 1 talents, it is fairly standard from pretty much everyone. The things we see variances on. Block coming in from the Diablo for that extra defense. Kael'thas we sometimes see something different on. It is going to be the Fell Infusion from him. And Sonya with the Shot of Fury other than the block or the healing talent on level 1.
Block is definitely something that she could have gone for in this setup night now. The teams are, of course, aiming for Shrine Control, and particularly mYisanity, since they have the Lightning Breath as an option on level 10, and also the Sanctification, which is going to help them to take control of these shrines. Another big tool is going to be that Starfall on Tyrande, which has been able to put incredible damage out throughout the entire weekend already in the games that we've seen here. Malfurion is, of course, an interesting adjustment for those needs. Starfall is something, as well as Lightning Breath, and also the area of effect damage on Kael'thas, that he can try and negate with his heroic ability.
There's the flip onto Breeze, but he's able to Dwarf Toss out of there. And right now, no kills to either side. Both teams just rotating between the lanes, clearing the minions as quick as they can, attempting to kill each other and failing.
Yeah, pretty much that. We also had a bit of a poll going on Twitter. You can, of course, follow us on Twitter at Tetcher and at Khaldor. And we had basically the entire opinion split between the 2 teams. Roughly half were thinking that mYisanity would take it, and the other half were very convinced that Fnatic would be the team to be victorious here. mYisanity, of course, also one of the teams that was able to go to Korea for the Spring Global Championship. And yeah, they are, of course, aiming for participation in the European or the Global Championship in Europe for summer as well. But for that, they have to reach Tour first or qualify to Leicester. But for now, we're seeing both of the teams in this particular map going straight for objective number 1 as the Shrine in the mid lane has spawned.
Yeah, they're going to move in here, and right now a huge advantage to Fnatic in the way of demons. But we are seeing mYisanity begin to get their way up there and push their way through once again, trying to make the play on Breeze, but this time the stun from Tyrande misses Breeze, able to back out of there. And now the rest of Fnatic are here and available. Quacknix having to pull back a bit, But Fnatic look like they're good here to take the Punisher.
We have a pretty nasty CC chain on the side of mYinsanity. Not only Tyrande Diablo, but also Uther for the added stun, plus Gravity Lapse on Kel'Thas, and they're trying to abuse that already, as you can see here. They're attempting to lock down Muradin again, but Breeze jumps out as Hazops is all of a sudden out pressure. Quadnix takes him apart, and Kel'Thas dies. Fnatic somehow takes control over the first shrine here. They get the double kill as Uther now falls too, and they have access to Punisher #1. Great turnaround in that battle by Fnatic, and a very impressive fight control here.
Yeah, they did a really good job, and especially a Pharaoh Angel on that Sonya there, getting into that backline and just whirlwinding so much damage out, and that was really able to turn that fight. No one was safe because the second that whirlwind wears off, that is straight into the Seismic Slam, so really nice play by him there. Punisher does get pulled over the wall, but we do see Fnatic able to get both towers, so the stand amount you get, and they still get into lanes to get the XP.
One of the biggest ideas here of mYinsanity is to use Diablo during these shrines to control these choke points that you see here at the side. Whenever someone is going to try and move through this, especially if it's Sonya or, for example, Muradin, Diablo is going to be there just like slamming them over, pushing them back into the rest of the team, and then it's really time for Tyrande and also Uther to get their stun combo in so that the damage can be dished out. And with that aggression, it's very tricky for Fnatic to actually move into these choke points and into these positions on the shrine. So for them, it's very, very difficult to keep these heroes alive. Tassadar will have to do a good job with this pre-shielding. And one of the things that we also see now is on level 7, of course, that cleanse for Malfurion, which is just a must-have going against such a control-heavy composition.
Yeah, so far, Malfurion not going for a single healing talent. He took the extra range on his ability, the Elun's Grace, as his level 4, and like you said, taking the cleanse a bit later on. So he's purely relying on his base healing and his ultimate, which is fine considering he is with the Tassadar here.
Exactly. That double support is something that both of these teams run. Especially when you're looking at mYinsanity, it's basically something that they have been doing already before they went to the Spring Championship Global Finals in Korea. They love this particular style. They used it in Katowice at the regional finals for the Spring Championship. And here at the Summer Championship, there's basically no difference. They are probably the team that plays the most double support combos in the entire European scene. And they are very successful with it.
Yeah, worked with them for a while now. But Fnatic still keeping control in this game at the moment. They're going to be harassing Hazuovs in the spot lane with the combination of Kazaras and some good cocktails. But they do need to get ready to get up to top lane. But there's a good chance they might be able to soak to 10 before either starting the fight at the shrine or before the fight finishes at least.
An entire level lead for Fnatic here, and they are trying to use that. They're in the mid lane still against Blumby and Norok, but Quacknix is slowly making his way over to the top, already mounting up here. And Sonya plus Malfurion are attempting to get a lead for Fnatic in the count. We have still camps taken on the map, and especially when we're talking about the Bruiser camp up at the top, this is something that Smexy has to deal with. But we are seeing that mYinsanity is basically just saying, well guys, we can't really do too much about the camp at the top, we don't want to take that, let's soak experience. But Fnatic is doing a very good job meeting these rotations and having a heartbeat on every single lane.
Yeah, Fnatic know that in mYinsanity, the only thing they can really do is soak experience because they won't have the level 10s in time for the objective, so Fnatic are doing exactly the same. They know there's no way mYinsanity will contest, so they're just going to meet them, get the objective and the XP in the minion waves. The only thing they're losing right now is a couple structures and getting pushed out a bit thanks to the people in the bot lane, but Shrimpy getting forceful on Hazuovs. Not enough for a kill, but once again, dropping him low on health.
Shrimpy already on level 7 with Khaldor's Embrace here, making sure that everybody is going to stay safe during these fights. At the top lane, at the same time, we have the Arcane Punisher doing work, and with all those Arcane sentries around, Darkmook is in a very, very awkward spot. We all know from playing Diablo that going up against these things is very annoying, and in Heroes of the Storm, it's exactly the same picture. Fnatic actually dives deep for the kill. They're going in for it, and they're trying to take them down, but here comes also that Starfall. Zoning tools, and look at that potential damage with Starfall plus also Phoenix being used. Add a Lightning Breath potentially on top of that, and you have intense area of effect damage. I'm really loving this Malfurion pick more and more, since with his Tranquility, he will be able to at least negate some of that.
Yeah, that Tranquility for the overlap damage is going to be a big deal in this game, so it makes a lot of sense. So right now, though, Fnatic, they've taken a huge advantage. They very nearly got caught out of position there, but were able to take the top 4, do a bit of damage to the mid 4, and are now moving back to the lanes, getting XP and grabbing mercenaries.
looking at the heroic abilities is actually insane. Like, it didn't really hit me that hard during the draft how this is going to pan out for them. But if you go for Phoenix and then also the normal Living Bomb damage, the Flame Strike, you add the Starfall on top of that, and you have a Lightning Breath. I mean, that is a death zone right there. Whoever enters that area is just going to explode immediately. Without Malfurion and his Tranquility, you have no chance of survival there. Thinking back on that choice that Fnatic made between Karazim and Malfurion, I really, really like that they chose against the Monk, because in this setup, I don't really feel that would have been enough heal power.
Yeah, but the only issue is there is another way that mYisanity can take these fights, and that is they do have this Diablo Tyrande combo where they can get in with Kael'thas taking the Gravity Crush on level 7, where he deals 30% extra damage to anyone hit by his Gravity Lapse for 4 seconds, which means if he can land that as the follow-up stun to Tyrande and Diablo, which 1, creates a great CC lock train, and 2, gives them the burst damage to follow up, which Malfurion's going to have a lot of a harder time healing, but that's why he has the cleanse. But if he's the one who gets caught, then that is a serious problem for Fnatic.
Positioning for Malfurion is everything here. He can't really move into an area where he would need that cleanse. So if that CC train hits him, then that is already a nightmare scenario for Fnatic. That's absolutely right. We're seeing Fnatic with also now Burning Rage, so that they can get a bit of an easy access towards those minions with the area of effect damage here. Also Ice Block now for Malfurion, a talent that I like a lot. And as we already pointed out earlier, he basically does not take any healing talents at this point, and he knows that he can't. It's all about survival for him right now. It's all about getting that Tranquility through. And if you think about it, with that Tranquility, he can negate a lot of the heroic abilities that we're seeing on the side of mYisanity. So it's all about those cooldown traits that we have. And as long as he's safe and survives, they're going to be in a decent spot.
Right now, mYisanity deciding to go with a objectives are for suckers strategy, and are just rotating through the lanes, just trying to get any kind of push, but Fnatic have been doing a great job of meeting it, and there we go, they were trying to go for that snipe strategy there, but Breeze with the Dwarf Toss and the Force Wall to prevent any extra chase coming down from Shwimpy.
I like the way that you described the strategy. They must have talked to a lot of the people that you meet in Quick Match, because that's basically exactly what you see there as well. Jokes aside, I mean, mYisanity, they realized that they won't be able to fight without having the equal talent, so they needed to wait for level 13 in this case. For now, we're having them also with the Fission Bomb here taken on Kael'thas, plus Overflowing Light and Imposing Will. And the Immortal, or the Punisher, is about to take down that fort at the bot lane. A fight potentially about to start here, but Fnatic is a bit low, especially Shwimpy. Good force wall on his part, though. They're starting to jump in, but Diablo, as you can tell, is looking for a target. Bloomby is getting body blocked a bit, and Smexy is also locking him down with a root for a moment. So that gives a bit of breathing room here to Fnatic, and they are able to retreat.
Yeah, it allows them to retreat to their fountain and then pull back in. And they're going for the camp, coming in for the steal. In comes Bloomby from the side, but Sonya has arrived. There's the Sanctification, though, and the Lightning Breath, and that will force Fnatic to pull back. Breeze taking a lot of damage here. Athero looking for an engage from the side here. Quacknix jumping in and then swiping out. Doesn't want to get caught out of position here. There's the root doing quite a bit of damage, but neither team losing a hero here.
Yeah, at this point, Tranquility, keeping them alive. They didn't really engage with Tranquility. Oftentimes you see it used as a means of engaging into the opponent. With Tranquility you can negate a lot of the damage, and that gives you a bit of an opportunity to just push into them. But of course, with all those zoning tools that we have for mYisanity, they were just very eager to make sure that they didn't run into any problems here. I really believe that with 60 seconds on Malfurion's cooldown, it might be a problem for them come the next Shrine, especially since Tyrande still has her cooldown ready. But for now, Fnatic is still taking camps on the map. They just took the Castle camp at the bottom. They are also very much so in the lead in experience and are attempting to head into a fast level 16.
Yeah, and that would be huge for them if they're able to get that. They're already at a point where they're controlling most of the map. Once again, playing more of this objective style than this teamfight style, but still able to take team fights if they want to. However, we actually saw just how strong the composition of mYisanity can be at that easy camp fight, but they weren't able to lock down Fnatic enough to make the most out of it, but we can just see how much zoning potential it gives.
Yeah, especially since they didn't even use all of those. They only used a couple of their cooldowns for that battle, so if they commit with everything they have, that's going to be a problem. 10 seconds until Malfurion has his Trank up once again, so he needs to wait for that. We're seeing everybody starting to move to the top. And again, Fnatic with that slight lead in experience that will give them an early level 16. And it doesn't really look like mYisanity is willing to fight against it. They are not risking anything here. They're instead moving into the middle of the map. And this is one of the things that only pro teams do. If you would see this in a Hero League match, there would be that fight for the top shrine for sure, and then you probably get completely annihilated. mYisanity, they have the patience and they have the discipline to say, yes, we really want to finally fight for Punisher, but we can't do it. Guys, let's like stay safe, go into the middle, take a wall down, do whatever we can to close the gap in experience and fight then a team battle when we are finally on even talents with our opponent.
These two teams are playing very different games. Fnatic just going with the objective every time and the lane controlling their lanes as much as possible. mYisanity trying to find people to snipe and just going for big 5-man pushes every now and again to keep control and try and continue to force Fnatic to make a mistake. But Fnatic just not taking the risk.
Yeah, Tenacious Roots now also being used. Punisher already baited in. They're starting to go through the wall now though. And any second now, level 16 is also going to hit for mYisanity. They are using it with Starfall. They have also the Phoenix in play. We're still seeing Fnatic sticking around a bit longer, trying to see if they can maybe make a play here, but the Punisher is not opening up an opportunity for them. If he would have locked down someone, they might have jumped in and tried to blast the target away, but they don't get that chance. They retreat for now. It's a very kill-poor game so far. 2 against 0 kills at this point, but a bit of a trap set up here, as we're seeing Fnatic go for the kill. The Tenacious Roots already on the ground.
Yeah, we already have 2 heroics down. The Starfall and the Phoenix are already missing for mYisanity here. There's the Sanctification though. Athera immediately pulling back. There's the Tranquility to heal up as they push back through the route. Not catching anyone. The Holy Ground zoning really nicely by Tyrael. And that is a good job by mYisanity. Considering they were 2 heroics down, they actually came out of that very nicely.
It was actually a very cool idea to go for that fight. They realized that 2 of the heroic abilities with AoE damage were already on cooldown on the side of mYisanity. So Fnatic was trying to force a fight during that timing window. It was very much calculated, and they chose an area where they could get good value out of the Tenacious Roots. Problem for them was definitely that we had still, of course, Sanctification up for Tyrael, and good zoning there as well. The Lightning Breath did solid work, and then Tranquility started to really turn the tides of the battle. But now they don't have Tranquility anymore. They can't really fight here, and Breeze is in trouble. He is down. Breeze eliminated. Malfurion wasn't even with him at this point, and that might be exactly the chance that mYisanity needed to gain momentum.
Yeah, and this is the big point that we have. Like we said, they have huge in general fight potential, but if someone gets caught on their own, then they're going to die. The damage that we are seeing from Chaos Blast, he has the extra auto attack damage when he auto attacks someone affected by Living Bomb, and 30% extra damage to anyone hit by his Gravity Lapse. So anyone caught out and caught in the Sun Train is gonna die. Splendor might just die anyway, though they're trying to chase him down, but he will get out. Blumby is now the target, gets rooted, but they don't have enough range damage to finish him off here.
Uh-oh, Athero in trouble. The Mystical Spear not proccing in time. Blumby turns it around. Here comes the Sanctification again, barely surviving. Diablo is still there, but Quacknix jumps in. He wants to kill, and what a force wall. The immediate Divine Shield on Uther himself. Everybody gets out of there. Quacknix with the attempt to maybe go in once more, but that was a great disengage on the side of mYisanity. That was incredibly well done. I actually thought 2 of those heroes would die for sure.
Yeah, they've been doing really, really well. This Tyrael has been absolutely outstanding so far this entire game, and everyone else has been working really well with it. You saw Diablo outside of the Sanctification. He walked back in and then used his Firestorm in order to zone out with a bit of extra damage, and then was able to pull back and keep himself alive. He is now grouped up with his team, and they look like they're ready to maybe try it again, but they are down a lot of heroics.
Yeah, they are down the Divine Shield and the Sanctification, so the 2 panic buttons that they currently have are on cooldown. And that is a problem for them. The Mortar Punisher has been claimed by Fnatic again. It's a very, very close and tense game that we are seeing. I mean, most people expected that it would be a very difficult battle for both of these teams, and this is exactly true. Both of them are starting to fight. Punisher at the bottom, up to the top. Sanctification not used yet. Holy Ground already in play. Tenacious Roots locking down 3, actually. Starfall has been committed. Also the Sanctification. A lot of the cooldown's been triggered. We still have Tranquility up, so Fnatic has a chance to move to the bot lane and do some severe damage now.
Yeah, only Lightning Breath and Phoenix available for mYisanity. Divine Shield will be up in 4 seconds. They're playing very far back because they are lacking a lot of their area of effect control. Instead, just killing off that Punisher. letting Fnatic just look menacing outside the door. Fnatic, though, just going to pull back and start doing mercenaries. Just keep their map control.
Yeah, they're attempting to paint the map red again by taking camp after camp at this point. There's still 2 Bruiser camps that are available and the Khaldor camp at the bottom of the map. But mYisanity still very, very cautious. They haven't lost a hero in ages. They lost heroes in the early game, but that's about it. And they've always been able to do a lot of damage here, using their heroics at really good positions. Again, level 19, both teams heading into 20 now. And they are, at least for now, taking one of the forts down, which gives them a bit of experience. But as I already said, camps are up, and that's where Fnatic is headed.
I actually think mYisanity have more kill potential at this stage in the game just because of their burst damage. And the fact is, it's almost impossible for Fnatic to kill anyone on the side of mYisanity unless they're able to catch them when some of the heroics are down and get a really good, intense team fight.
Tetcher, I'm scared for 20. Once we have Celestial Wrath and the Hellstorm, that's going to be brutal. If they can force a fight in a closed-off area, let's say, for example, we are seeing the next shrine spawning at the top, right? And there's no escape possible anymore, and you have to fight in there. If that Celestial Wrath and the Hellstorm hit, then I do not feel there's anything that Fnatic can do but just like sit there and die.
Yeah, they add on to that the constantly spreading living bombs as well, and this is just going to be really unpleasant. And they could even just have Uther add Storm Shield to that, so they die even less. So it's just going to be impossible for Fnatic to roll in. But Fnatic, however, do get level 20 first. We see a Storm Shield for them on the side of Tassadar, Hardened Shield on the Muradin, and the Ignore Pain on Sonya. Bolt of the Storm on Malfurion. He needs it to stay alive, and the Hunter's Blunderbuss on the Greymane.
Yeah, there's the Starfall. They try to go for the kill. They want to abuse level 20 right now. They want to get value out of it. Aethera is in a bit of trouble. Here's the Tenacious Roots on the ground. Phoenix is coming into play too. They're jumping out of it. They did not have to use Tranquility. And Smexy's holding that talent back for as long as he possibly can. He knows fully well that once that Tranquility has been used, they are in trouble. So they have to make it count. They have to make it really, really count. 20 versus 20 right now. The Hellstorm, the Celestial Wrath is already being used. We're seeing a lockdown potential, but Blumby is actually the one that's getting trapped here. Great Divine Shield to keep him alive. Splendor is low though, and this might be the chance for Fnatic to jump in. Where's Greymane? Quacknix is looking for an opening. He has his heroic up. He starts to jump in. Blumby is down for 4 seconds. Diablo's going to be back soon enough, but Uther is falling and Fnatic is still on the hunt.
And Fnatic have done an amazing job not spreading the living bombs from Hasselhoffs and have finally pushed through the heroics and are trying to get the kills. They take down Hasselhoffs. Splendor gets taken down as well. Redemption was already used, and they're continuing to chase. The living bombs still spreading though. They need to be careful. They're still spreading it to each other. Stop grouping. Stop it.
Wow.
They're finally stopping the spread there.
That damage output, like look at how much damage Kel'Thas has. 58,000, but 68k on Greymane. Again, once more, we are seeing Quacknix just showcasing why he is one of the best, if not the best Greymane player on the European server. He's able to get the damage out there. They got the kills, and right now 6 kills against 1. This was the fight that they were hoping for. Great Tranquility also being used on Malfurion, but especially these Force Walls that we've seen on Tassadar, they were great. They always locked down the opponent and made sure that Blumby could never escape.
Yeah, that was the fight Fnatic have been looking for all game. They basically pulled mYisanity away from any defensible location, pulled them away from any choke points, and basically held them there until the heroics were so staggered that there was no way they could fight back, and then they just rolled them. It was a beautiful play.
It was really, really well done, and I mean, that was a clutch fight too, because we had a few situations in which it looked like mYisanity could turn it around. At this point now, though, especially with now Master of Flames being taken as well, which we have seen in great action in that last fight, we could actually once again see a big battle happening as both of those teams have their heroic abilities up. A bit of a stagger here on the last minion. We're waiting for the rest of the team to just mana up again and head back. And now the attempted push at the top lane, where Fnatic could go for the kill on the core, which is exactly what they're looking for, actually.
Yeah, that's what they're going to try and do. They have all 5 members, all 5 heroics, and currently a 1-level lead, but that will not last very long. Owl going to be popping off some of those pre-set Tassadar shields. Going to be moving in. Punisher not getting any stuns, so they're just going to move forward here. Kael'thas starting to spread those living bombs, already doing the damage, but the Punisher has been baited onto the keep, so it's not going to be helping them. There's the Starfall doing quite a bit of damage, but right now it is just posturing.
Yeah, it's mostly zoning right now, so that's actually in this case a lot of heroics that have already been committed. Once again, they're starting to jump in. The keep is about to fall, but as long as the core is not being attacked, mYisanity is more or less fine. But at this point, the Punisher is still turning on the core, and the rest of Fnatic is following. They're trying to go for it. They already threw once yesterday. They don't want to do that again, but here comes that Hellstorm. So much damage. Also the Phoenix, but Smexy with the Tranquility is keeping everybody alive as the core is being attacked. Quackings on the other hand is already dead. Smexy about to finish it with the rest of the team, though. And Fnatic, they take the lead in the best of 3 series against mYisanity here at the last best of 3 of the day. And as we have our resub here, Yonte, thanks for that, we also have our second draft starting. Game number 2, Cursed Hollow is the map mYisanity versus Fnatic. The winner of this series is going to advance to the offline tournament, to the regional final number 2 at Dreamhack Tour. Fnatic with a ban on Illidan, whereas we are seeing mYisanity banning out ETC. And we have the first pick on the side of mYisanity with the Greymane, picking it away from Fnatic, and Fnatic can now, of course, react to that. A very cool first game that we already saw between the two teams, and Fnatic now with the 1-0 lead, heading into map number 2.
Yeah, and with that ETC already banned out by mYisanity, Fnatic get priority, and, well, Breeze has been very solid on this Muradin for every single game, and Shrimpy has been very solid on this Tyrande. So now they have a good roaming combo and 2 heroes which 2 of their players are very comfortable on.
And Tyrande, of course, she has been, she is so much stronger right now. She definitely has been buffed quite a bit by Blizzard with that buff on Starfall, and that damage after the Celestial Wrath on level 20 is crazy. Muradin Tyrande, of course, also one of the best roaming comps that we still have in the game. Super popular for a long time right now, and Fnatic is going for that CC chain, or at least aiming for it. mYisanity, on the other hand, in a scenario where they could still work towards their double healer composition, which they really love to play. If they want to do that, then picking, in this case now, a Tassadar would probably be a pretty good choice. McLaggett, thank you very much for the resub as well. And Uther already being shown here, so Uther Tassadar is something that they actually played a lot.
Yeah, and they could just pick these out straight away. Tyrande has already been picked for Fnatic, so they have at least something supporty, and then they can just fill in with a second support. Or, if they really want to, they could go super aggressive and run Tyrande as the solo support. You can still pick the heal heroic, no one does, even if you are running Tyrande as the solo support nowadays.
Yeah, and we actually have a Thrall now taken too. And, you know, with Greymane Thrall, this is catering a little bit more towards builds that we've already seen yesterday, where Tyrael as an enabler with Sanctification is being used with a heavy melee setup. And that is something that mYisanity has already played, and Fnatic is probably very well aware of that. So I'm a little bit curious to see how mYisanity is going into the next phase of the draft, and also if that is maybe triggering a particular ban on the side of Fnatic. But keep in mind, next to Tyrael, other heroes that have not been touched yet in the draft that we could see, which are very strong here, are Falstad, for example. And instead, Fnatic is actually looking to ban out Stitches.
Yeah, banning out the Stitches makes a lot of sense. There is follow-up stun from mYisanity, and it could pick off Tyrande, it could pick out any assassins that Fnatic do go for. So, a solid ban, but also because Fnatic have a warrior already and mYisanity yet to pick, and Fnatic get first pick after the ban phase, so they can pick a second warrior to limit the options of mYisanity.
I mean, we have Stitches banned. I could see, okay, the Haka is an option.
They're limiting their own options here.
I could have actually seen a ban on Sonya, for example, too. The Haka is banned, and Fnatic, as I said, Falstad's still around, so they are aiming for it. I could definitely see them head into a Sonya as well. And then on the last, maybe even maybe in Tassadar right now. And then
yeah, they don't need to pick Sonya now because mYisanity aren't going to pick Sonya and the Brawl, so they can leave that for now.
I would not say that. We have seen that particular draft a couple of times already. Keep that in mind.
That's true.
So there is a chance that mYisanity adds something like Sonya Tyrael and goes for this heavy melee commitment. But Fnatic with Tassadar now and Tyrande Tassadar for the draft would be, I feel, flexible enough to even deal with that.
Yeah, and like if mYisanity takes it, they can deal with it. The force wall, especially, just like, well, you've sanked. We're just going to force wall so that you can't get near us and can't do anything with your invulnerability, and then we'll kill you afterwards. And if they were able to take it, then obviously it would be extra shields for the Sonya themselves, so it would have worked quite well for them. They are, however, running down their time pool a lot. And looks like they're just deciding on a second support for now, and it's going to be Rhaegar instead of Tassadar.
Yeah, that works quite well too. Maybe not as well. Actually, like it's also pretty decent for Sonya. I actually slipped my mind a bit. And there's the Tyrael. They go for the Tyrael, and they have the Abathur, so it's going to be a copy on Greymane or Thrall, depending on the situation. And them going Tyrael with Sanctification and trying to run over the opponent with a good Sanct and a massive melee commitment here. I like it. It's a very aggressive draft. Fnatic, they kind of saw something like this coming, I'd say. And for now, they have to, of course, think about how they are going to stop it. They have Myrden at the front line. They could definitely pick another frontliner right now if they want to. And one of the biggest or best tools for them is also going to be the Mighty Gust. But that's where Tyrael with the Sanctification comes into play. So they have to really be careful about the timings here. And it is, as kind of expected, the Sonya pick.
Yeah, the Sonya makes a lot of sense for them. What now also makes sense is that Dehaka ban. If they were planning on picking the Abathur into a Falstad, the last thing they need is yet another way for Abathur to be picked off if he ever gets out and starts split-soaking XP.
Definitely true. But it's once again a super interesting draft here with very different approaches to what's going on here. The enablement of like Rhaegar and Tyrande trying to enable Sonya at the same time with Tyrael and Uther, and also the Abathur for the copy, just trying to put mYisanity into a position where they can just like completely stomp Fnatic in a fight, roll over them with using Sanctification and moving in. And that's one of those moments where Falstad is going to try and hold back his Mighty Gust for as long as he possibly can until Sanctification is gone or heroes move out of it, so he can just like push them away and force a disengage there. It's a cool setup, and we're going to go into the second map to find out which team is going to be taking it here. mYisanity versus Fnatic, game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Fnatic in the lead right now. Let's find out who's going to take game number 2. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, between mYisanity and Fnatic. A quick pause as Bloomby was dropping at the start of the game, but still we can introduce the players here, of course. Starting towards the left side of the map, we have mYisanity. After a pretty insane game 1, they are going for a very different draft and a bit of a different strategy when it comes to taking down Fnatic here. We see Bloomby currently on Tyrael. We have Nurok going on Greymane, and we have at the same time now also Darkmok with Thrall. A lot of melee characters, as you could already tell, with Abathur played by Hazorbs. And that is another copy that he can put either on Greymane or on Thrall. So a lot of melee commitment here by them. Splendor with his Divine Shield is going to try and keep the boys safe, especially of course also with a Wave of Light, whereas Tyrael with the Sanctification is going to help them to just move over the opponent here. To the right side of the map, with the 1-0 lead in the best-of-3 series, we are actually seeing Fnatic playing Breeze on Myrden. We have Aethera Angel on Sonya, Quacknix on Falstad, Schwimpy again back on Tyrande, and with a double support setup that they're rocking here, it is Smexy on Rhaegar going for the dog here. Pretty cool setup, of course, and this is a very important series for mYisanity. They are a little bit notorious for always, qualifying in the last qualifier and just barely making it into the regionals where they then suddenly start to excel. They would probably really like to change it up this time and not participate in the last chance qualifier after this one.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is you said it exactly right. They compete in the last chance qualifier every time, or just the last qualifier in general, and then do really, really well. Like, even at Korea, they actually were able to really give Cloud9 especially a really good run for their money.
Yeah, they more or less won the series already and then threw it away with both hands. I met them afterwards. Dude, I have never seen people so upset. They were crushed. It was insane. That second game that they played on Tumor of the Spider Queen against Cloud9 must have been a total disaster. I haven't even watched it because they just told me don't watch it, it's not worth it, please don't. And yeah, they were absolutely crushed after that series. They must have been so far ahead that it was more or less an auto win. Talking about potential wins, Splendor at the top lane getting away, and he's definitely a winner already because that should have been a kill.
Yeah, it's the might still be. There's the hit.
Schwimpy!
He's not B yet. Now what? He's healed himself. Even the owl won't kill him now. Alright, so Splendor will still escape, but at least they stopped him being for a bit.
Yeah, he's poking him a little bit more, so he's moving back at this point. Already, by the way, when you're coming to the talents, we have, of course, Hazorbs going straight into that level 1. He's going to go for full focus on the support. Pressurized glance is what we're seeing here. Adrenal Overlord on level 4 is what we would expect. We're seeing an auto attack build for Falstad, which caters once again a little bit to what they're facing here. Falsehood with an auto attack is always going to try to, like, the question with Falsehood if you go into an auto attack or if you go into Gathering Storm is oftentimes how many targets do you have available at the front line that will be in range for you to do damage. And with the setup that is being played here, Falsehood is more or less guaranteed to always have at least 2, maybe 3, in the case of Abathur with a copy, even 4 targets around him that he can hit with auto attack range. So this is one of the reasons why we're currently seeing the season's marksman taken on level 1.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of concerned about mYinsanity's lane setup here because they've got Abathur solo lane, which isn't a bad thing, but they've got him against Falstad, so they've basically just said, hey Falstad, you have season marksman, have any stack you want. You can literally just stay here and get stacks because we're not going to contest you or harass you.
Yeah, and Falsehood is actually also in the same lane where we see the tribute spawning now. As expected, Adrenal Overlord has been picked on level 4. Both of the teams a little bit slow there, but a nice camp taken right now. Good timing for the camp to be claimed, and now we are going to see a commitment towards that first tribute. Abathur, of course, is always having one of those situations, or like one of the problems that is very difficult for the Abathur team to get those tributes in the early game. It's one of the reasons why mYisanity is not even trying to do that, because they realize it's not going to happen anyways. Instead, they push the top lane where they have the Siege Giant camp up now. So a very, very cool setup. Another thing that I want to point out there is also that we have a full commitment now for a melee build on Greymane. We've been talking about that idea to just jump in with Tyrael during fights, use Sanctification, and then completely roll over your opponent. And that is what they're trying to do here, and Greymane is going to be a big part of it.
Yeah, he's joining in with the melee people, the last ranged person actually, and he decides to go melee build. We are seeing Thrall with the Envenom as well. In comes Fnatic for a little bit, trying to get some harassment. They have Quacknix here this time, and his damage is insane onto Norok, but nice done by Splendor. That will let Norok survive. Darkmok, though, might not be so lucky. Splendor, you got any more healing for him? No, but down goes Darkmok.
First kill in the game for Fnatic, looking good. Bot lane is currently harassed by Athero, and Abathur is doing whatever he can in plain vision, by the way, at this point, but still guarded by the fort itself. Athero is getting some solid work done down here, though. He already went through the first tower, and he's going for the second one now as well. Sonya is having a field day here.
Yes, Falstad already pushed the lane up quite a bit and sapped most of the ammo just on the wave clear he gets. And then it's just like, okay, so I basically started it for you, you finish it. And Sonya just comes in and just annihilates it with damage. But now, Quacknix being denied over and over again on this tribute. And this time, though, Guardian Cocktail is blocked. The lightning bounces to him, though, and Smexy's in trouble.
Yeah, Smexy is in trouble, but he gets away as Darkmok is now being assisted by Abathur. On the other hand, Breeze has barely jumped out in nick of time. Sonya, of course, not with the team. That's one of the things that we have to highlight here. We have again the interrupt attempt, but Sonya is getting a lot of value at the bot lane. She went through the wall. She's already trying to take the waves down. She puts pressure onto the fort itself. And up at the top, there's interrupt after interrupt against Darkmok and his boys as they're trying to channel. And this is only the second tribute. The first one for mYisanity. It's not really that it's a big deal for the team in red.
Yeah, they've actually, mYisanity have finally been able to get it, and Fnatic were just denying this for as long as they could here. And they were able to do a pretty good job of it, but unfortunately, they had 2 people trying to cap it that time, and Shrimpy wasn't able to hit both of them with the Owl, despite his best efforts, and the Pierce talent was just able to miss Uther there.
Yeah, Darkmok currently up at the top in this case now. We are also seeing a bad momentum for Tyrael after he went into Amplified Healing. Amplified Healing is a great talent because it also procs off the Regeneration Masters. That's pretty sweet. Gives you a lot of hit point regeneration in the later stages of the game. The Vile Nests have now been taken. Very annoying talents to take. The bot lane, we're still seeing pressure from Breeze and Quacknix, and Abathur is always there behind that fort, just barely. And this is one of the things that's, of course, incredibly scary. If Hazelhoff doesn't pay attention, he might get jump upon.
Yeah, he has to, like you said, has to pay attention. But now, though, it doesn't look like there's going to be a huge amount of danger here. They are just, both teams just staying in lanes and not doing that much. Muradin coming back round to the mid lane to meet up with Tyrande again so they can start their roam again and maybe head up to this tribute so that they can test.
Both of the teams are on level 9 now. With Abathur, of course, you always want to go for a bit of split push experience. It's actually one of the reasons why Sonya stayed down for this long, trying to push through the wall, because they wanted to deny that extra experience to mYisanity, and they did pretty well with that. The teams are heading at the same pace towards level 10 now, and we still have a bit more of a commitment by Fnatic now for that tribute. Falstad is the one at the bot lane. He took a camp. There's a lot of pressure at the bottom of the map right now, and he can, of course, fly in whenever need be, and he will do that pretty soon. Abathur is still at the bottom. He has to somehow deal with this camp. Not going to be easy, as Quacknix moves in into the middle and makes sure that this Bruiser camp is not going to get too much value either.
Nice Al from Shrimpy there, denying the tribute from 2 people. Splendor able to heal them both up though, but this is just Fnatic. They're soaking lanes and getting XP out of it, but now Falstad has arrived. They've decided that they are done with this and they want the tribute because they have the level 10s. They're going to move in. There's the Divine Shield onto Thrall. The good Sundering and the Starfall coming out here, but the Sanctification also stopping Darkmaw completely, taking too much damage, but the Starfall's still going.
And we saw exactly the problem. The Mighty Gust actually used in a situation where Sanctification was just used. 2 of the heroes not affected. The copy on Hazorps is trying to do its thing. Here come the interrupts. 1-2. The copy is still active though. Hazorps wants to go for the kill. The copy down. Abathur has to jump in and help out here. Splendor still going for the channel. Can someone interrupt? Breeze is there, but the tribute is already taken. Can they take a hero though? The lockdown against Darkmog. He's trying to rush away here and is able to escape for now. Bloomby is zoning a little bit more, but in this case Fnatic is not able to pick up the tribute, and mYisanity takes a lead in the tribute count with a 2-1.
Fnatic, however, were able to take the fort in the bot lane. The mercenaries down there basically just kept going and were able to kill everything, especially seeing as Abathur, the only thing defending against them, did use the copy to get himself up to help with his team, so not even any Locust defending it. So the fort did go down, and as such, Fnatic continue to hold a small lead here, but they are behind in tributes. And now are looking to bait the boss. Not looking to try and trap yet, though, because they don't have enough mana. They're going to be back and get ready for the next fight.
Yeah, nice move back here. But as you already said, the next tribute is going to be an important one. Well, the target. I like it. Always important. If you have a chance in your games, guys, to take down the well of the opponent without risking anything, always make sure to do that. Because if there's a battle happening for an objective nearby, then your opponent won't be able to move back and get mana and hit points. In this case, it doesn't really matter just yet, since the tribute spawns at the bottom of the map. But it's always a pretty important thing to do.
Yeah, it is pretty essential indeed. Kraknix already in position. Will find Bloomby and be able to drop a little bit of harass, but Bloomby responding in kind, actually doing quite a bit of damage and is following up. He's just should have chased down Kraknix, but with Shrimpy here, Bloomby has to retreat. Sonya on her way down as well. Abathur has relocated himself to the mid lane because his fort in the bot lane is dead. So we're going to see Fnatic continually attempt to harass this, and well, this is a familiar scene.
Yeah, he definitely is. And keep in mind that Abathur hasn't chosen his copy yet. Oh, Bloomby needs to be super careful. Yeah, Darkmaw coming in from the side though with a Sundering. Here comes again the Mighty Gust, but in the same time we are having Tyrael going straight for the Sanctification as Abathur is now jumping in with a copy on Greymane 2. Wants to go for the kill. A good zoning Starfall in this case. Bloomby wants to go for the channel. Hazorps is losing the copy, but can they really interrupt Bloomby? They can. They sent the Owl in with a Pierce. Ethereal Angel is ready to go for it. The Divine Shield saving Thrall. Everybody low on Fnatic's part, and Breeze goes down.
Breeze getting picked off there. Falstad peacing out, going back to the top lane to defend and also soak the experience. But yeah, second time in a row, the Sanctification has just completely nullified the Mighty Gust here, and that is becoming a huge problem for Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic is now being cursed, and the experience lead goes to mYisanity as well. So that means they will hit the level 13 talent just a bit faster than Fnatic. This entire setup is really tricky. I actually also believe that Falstad needs to wait a little bit more until he uses his Mighty Gust. Either he needs to use it faster, or he needs to wait it out, because so far he didn't really get a lot of value out of the ult, because Sanctification is always on the ground zoning that out.
Yeah, he is really struggling with it. Bloomby right now being bullied by Fnatic as he's pushed them back away from their fort. Not that it matters, because the fort is not shooting back. Still got 30 seconds left of that. Hazorps still soaking XP as best as he can. He's done an okay job so far. Currently with, I can't remember what hotkey it is, found it. 9,000 XP. Falstad with 8,000 though, so he's been doing a good job keeping up.
Yeah, top lane, Falstad is still there. The 13 talent is ready though, and again we're seeing so much transference being used. The full focus on support, we've been talking about it. Also Giant Killer now in play for Thrall. And, well, the boss at the bot lane is being attacked. Falstad has to fly in soon. The copy on Abathur is available, so they can go for it. Oh, the snipe against Bloomby. Against Darkmaw. That was great. Thrall down. And this is a massive problem for mYisanity, because now Fnatic just simply takes that boss, and the bottom fort has already been eliminated earlier.
Yeah, all the heroics were available for mYisanity there, but they just didn't want to burn them too early when there were heroes missing. And instead, Fnatic were basically able to get a kill in a 3 versus 5 scenario.
Yeah, and now the boss is going to pressure, of course, the bot lane severely, and that forces mYisanity back. With the keep gone, with the fort gone and the keep now being attacked, they cannot let this slide. So there's a lot of space on the map for Fnatic to just move around, take another boss, go for a forward, go for any kind of camp that they want, because that boss down here has to be taken down, and that's exactly what they're doing at this point. Nice route there. Great boss assistance that we're seeing. Vision is, of course, there. Fnatic should have the time to burst this one down.
Yeah, they're going to be able to take that easy. Tyrael is on the way. He doesn't have Holy Ground yet, but he is too late as is. Boss goes over to Fnatic, and Tyrael gets in the stun train, but he gets cleansed out by Splendor. Nicely done.
Yeah, good cleanse here on that part. Again, boss is going to go through the top now, and this time Fnatic might actually decide to push with it. We're having them in position already. The sprint on Tyrande for the repositioning during the fights, and talking fights. Abathur still in the middle of the map. Bot lane is being pressured by another camp, as we're seeing the next tower being attacked here to the top, and Fnatic is going to end up in the lead in experience thanks to this.
Yeah, they're going to give themselves quite a big lead. They may even get the fort. In fact, they're almost definitely going to get the fort. Quacknic's going to fly down to the bot lane and make sure that this single siege giant gets even more efficiency, but the chase top lane here, Breeze getting chased, and he goes down again.
mYisanity committing to this, and this is something that Fnatic apparently didn't expect, as Falstad flies down. He gets value at the bot lane, but it ends up in a death on Breeze at the top. Falstad, on the other hand, has to move back now, but he was still able to push these lanes in a little bit more and put pressure on Abathur to de-push this.
Yeah, now so Abathur is going to be staying in the bot lane for the moment, getting these extra locals. He can put down some mines as well, try and defend it that way. But mYisanity, they were able to defend the boss in the top lane. They did lose their fort, but they were able to take the top one in exchange. So fort for a fort, they actually came out of that really nicely, considering the position they were in, mostly because of that Breeze kill.
I mean, considering that they actually just lost 2 bosses, they find themselves in a pretty solid spot. They're currently on level 16 already. We're seeing the bot lane attacked here. Smexy is already there, gets the immediate tribute. That is not quite a curse for them just yet, but at least the second one, so they're working towards it. But now we also have Holy Ground taken. We're seeing, for example, with the Tempest Fury, the ability of Thrall to apply that Giant Killer 3 times on Muradin right now, so that's a pretty big deal, of course, as well. And we have Envenomed Spikes too, which is going to make the disengages a little bit more difficult for Fnatic. Overall, mYisanity playing a great game here, but it's still very close. 2 kills versus 2 kills, and both of the teams on level 16.
Yeah, it's mostly coming down to the objectives and the team fights right now, because like you said, both teams level 16 with mYisanity with a slight experience lead. Fort count is completely even, but Fnatic's mid fort is a little bit more damaged. Currently, 4-man roaming squad trying to catch out Muradin in the top lane, but Dwarf Toss, good ability, yo.
Yeah, and Blumby doesn't really want to jump in after that Mighty Gust was being used here. It was a good idea to just go for it and try to jump in the front, but after Mighty Gust has pushed everybody else apart, that would have been a bit of a suicide mission right there.
Yeah, they don't want to take the risk, but with Mighty Gust now on cooldown in time for this tribute, it is going to be a problem, but Tyrael probably just sank it anyway at this point. Either way, this mid fort is going to go down to the combination of Abathur and Mercenaries, and as such, it does not look like Fnatic are going to... Oh no, they are going to contest this tribute as best they can. Quacknic's, though, only able to interrupt 2, and the third Splendor able to take it. Nice strategy by MYI. They know Fnatic are trying to be as annoying as possible with the denials, so they're putting multiple people at different points on the tribute to make sure that even if a couple of them are hit, they still have people channeling.
Against Tyrande, it's the best thing that he can do anyways, making sure that you have several ones going for the channel, because Tyrande's going to have a much tougher time to interrupt those. We've seen Schwimpy with a couple of really nice repositions, though, as he was trying to hit both of those channels.
Yeah, he has... His positioning is really good. His aim with this owl is pretty constant. And he has Ranger as well now, the increased width of the Sentinel. So he's going to be able to hit even more people, assuming that they don't position well enough to dodge it.
Again, the slightly inexperience for mYisanity. It's a really cool game. It's very intense at that, and it's not really a lot of fights that are just happening yet, or at least not a lot of kills, but a lot of pressure and a lot of very strategic movements on the map, where you always see like a bit of a tactical move to the top, trying to push a fort down here, reposition Falstad, soak a bit of experience, Abathur trying to de-push the bot lane. And it's really working so far. The next tribute is still going to be an important one, since once more Fnatic is able to apply a curse to Team mYisanity. And there it is, spawning at the bot lane as Falstad is pushing the top a little bit for extra experience. But it's not going to make up for a huge difference here. Down to the bot lane on the other hand. Breeze is again being attacked. Sundering being used. Breeze gets the Ancestral, jumps out. Falstad wants to fly in. Ethereal is also in a bit of trouble. Already the Starfall being used as we see Tyrael with his own ult trying to negate the damage.
The clone already gets deleted, though, and they're still trying to push through this Dark Mog. fighting Athera Angel. Athera Angel gets the heal. Darkmonk just able to sustain himself. Breeze coming back in for another round. This time he's onto Greymane, who gets Divine Shield and tries to get onto Athera Angel, but gets turned on. Athera Angel killing him as the Divine Shield wears off. The Owl denies the tribute, and Fnatic are pushing through.
Fnatic is going for it, and they're going for Tyrael. They get the kill against him, so they take down the copy on Abathur. They go for Greymane, Tyrael, and now they are trying to go boss, and then, of course, time it with a curse. Perfect for them. Especially them bursting away that copy on Abathur was so important. It was the best thing that could have happened to them. They were able to make that work. Here's the curse. They take it early. They're not trying to time it too much, since they realize that in this case, as always, the risk that Thrall is moving in again with maybe a Thundering, and of course you don't want to risk anything here. But this is a devastating position for mYisanity now all of a sudden. They're definitely going to lose the keep. That's going to happen. And actually with that boss moving in, they might lose core.
Yeah, if they kill the tower and the fountain very quickly, which they can do, and there they go, they're going to kill them both. The core, the boss does just go straight for core, and they can join it. If they can kill a couple heroes here, then they're going to be good. Even if they don't, though, the boss is going straight for core. They're going for Greymane, though. The cleanse is good, keeping him alive. Mighty Gust disengages everyone. Quackness gets focused and survives.
Unbelievable. He survives and they kill Thrall. The boss is already on the core. Starfall has been used. Hazops is losing the copy now too. Norok tries to move away. mYisanity has played such a great game, but they are losing hit points on the core as we speak. Fnatic wants to go for the 2-0 victory and looking strong here. They're jumping in on it. Divine Shield already used to go for Quackness again, but Greymane is now dead as well. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be Fnatic advancing to the finals, the regional finals at Dreamhack Tour. What a play, a 2-0 victory, and mYisanity has again to go through the third qualifier.